If you don't know his face, you gotta at least know the guy's laugh. One of the most famous villain actors of all time, Vincent Price has achieved cult status, with not one but 2 stars on the Hollywood Walk of Fame, as well as a star on the Walk of Fame of St. Louis, his hometown. But how much do you really know about the man, the myth, the legend, someone who helped shape the horror genre into what it is today? A real horror hero. Hello there, boils and ghouls, and welcome to my new series on this channel, Horror Heroes, where I talk about the men who helped shape the horror genre into what it is today. For the record, the sister series to this will be called Scream Queens, where I talk about the women who, well, you know the rest. Before we get started, make sure that you subscribe to this channel and click that little bell thingy to get notified. I post regular movie reviews and gameplays, all with a horror theme to them. So trust me when I say that you won't want to miss what's coming. But today, we're talking about that cruel and conniving bastard who actually turned out to be a total sweetheart in real life. Vincent Leonard Price Jr. He was born on May 27, 1911, to Vincent Leonard Price Sr., who owned the National Candy Company, and Margaret Cobb, a schoolteacher. According to the A&E biography, simply titled Vincent Price, he was drawn to horror movies from a very young age, especially the 1920 silent film Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. Apparently, he would plant himself in front of the mirror and try to mimic John Barrymore's mannerisms. Price would take any opportunity to act in any school plays or community productions, but acting was far from his only childhood passion. He was also very interested in music and fine art, starting his art collection at the age of 12. In 1933, he graduated from Yale University with a major in English and a minor in art history, which, woot woot, represented for those of us who got useless degrees, my man! It being the middle of the Great Depression and all, jobs were hard to come by, but Price managed to land a position as a school teacher for about a year before he quit, or, as he put it, I had the extraordinary experience of finding out that I knew nothing. That is how I intend to quit every job from now on, just that suave and cool. Price then went to the University of London in 1934 to pursue a master's in fine art, and it was here that his passion for acting expanded. There's a production of Chicago going on at the Gate Theater studio, and Price got suggested to audition because, well, he was American. Then he got the role because he was the only actor they could find who could walk and chew gum at the same time. The Gate Theater Studio's next production was Victoria Regina, the story of Queen Victoria's reign, and Price got cast as the male lead, prompting him to drop out of school and pursue acting full-time. The play proved so successful that it actually got moved to Broadway, meaning that Price was going to New York, where he acted with the Mercury Theater for a couple of years. In 1938, Price moved to Hollywood, and it was here that his movie career began. His first on-screen appearance was in the comedy Service Deluxe, in which Price played the romantic lead. He showed a particular talent for playing villains, however, with his beautiful deep voice and his smooth demeanor. His first horror film was 1940's The Invisible Man Returns, but it wasn't until 1953's House of Wax that Vincent Price was able to really establish himself as a household horror hero.
Everything I ever loved has been taken away from me. Not you, my Marie Antoinette, for I will give you eternal life.
He was in a number of other big-name horror projects throughout the 1950s, including The Fly and House on Haunted Hill. But he wasn't, synonymous with horror quite yet, and he still took quite a few not-horror roles, the most notable among them being 1956's The Ten Commandments.
You hold your tongue almost as well as I hold my temper.
What really shot Vincent Price into the category of horror legend was his series of Edgar Allan Poe adaptations directed by Roger Corman, started with 1960's The House of Usher and ended with 1964's The Tomb of Ligeia. All of a sudden, Price's name became synonymous with the gothic and the macabre, something that he was willing to parody in things like his 1977 appearance on The Muppet Show. And the thing is, as much as Price was very, very good at playing villains, in real life he kind of came across as one of the kindest, gentlest men around. He married his first wife, actress Edith Barrett, in 1938, and he had a son with her, the future poet Vincent Barrett Price. They divorced in 1948, and then in 1949 he married costume designer Mary Grant, with whom he had one daughter, Victoria Price. Alongside Grant, Price discovered a passion for cooking, and they actually co-authored 4 cookbooks together, released between the years of 1965 and 1971. And yes, I checked to see if they played into his gothic image at all. Maybe they had a whole "To Serve Man" theme to them.
It's a cookbook! It's a cookbook!
But from what I could tell, they were just regular cookbooks. He also had his own cooking show on British TV called Cooking Pricewise, which ran in 1971. He continued collecting art throughout his life, and in 1957, he and Grant donated 90 pieces of art as well as a ton of money to establish the Vincent Price Art Museum in California. He was a huge believer that art should be made accessible to the general public. In 1973, he and Grant divorced, and he married actress Coral Brown in 1974. Price's daughter claims that Brown was jealous of how close she was with her father, and that she caused a rift between them, but they managed to mend things several years later. Victoria Price published a biography of her father in 1999, in which she did discuss her father's early anti-Semitic beliefs. But he seemed to keep these beliefs more or less to himself. In fact, in 1950, he denounced racial and religious prejudice on an episode of The Saint, and he identified as a Democrat later on in life. When Victoria Price came out as a lesbian, he was very supportive of her. He was an honorary board member of PFLAG, which is one of the United States' oldest and biggest organizations connecting parents to LGBT youth. And he was also one of the first celebrities to appear in public service announcements discussing AIDS. Price was also a big fan of Rocky Horror Picture Show, and when it came time to cast for the movie, he was offered the role of the criminologist. He really wanted to take it too, but had to turn it down due to scheduling conflicts. Which is really disappointing to me, because that is one of my all-time favorite movies, and that is the one thing that actually would have made the movie better. In fact, in Victoria Price's biography, she even went as far as to state that she is as close to certain as she can be that her dad had physically intimate relationships with men, meaning that Price has more or less been inducted into the Bisexual Hall of Fame these days. Price's final film was 1990's Edward Scissorhands.
But etiquette tells us just what is expected of us and guards us from all humiliation and discomfort.
But by that point, he was already suffering from emphysema and Parkinson's disease, meaning that filming had to be cut short around him. But director Tim Burton really wanted him to be a part of that movie, being a big fan of his. In 1982, Burton even made a stop-motion tribute to Price, simply called Vincent, which Price himself referred to as a greater tribute than a star on Hollywood Boulevard. If you haven't seen it yet, you really should check it out. It's here on YouTube, and it's only about 6 minutes long. It's a really cute, really touching tribute to him. Ultimately, Price passed away on October 25th, 1993 as a result of lung cancer at the age of 82. Now, in my personal opinion, I cannot imagine how it would be possible to not like Vincent Price. He was just so charming and passionate and intelligent, and did he really have to be kind on top of everything? He may be a villain, but he's not the kind you love to hate, you just plain love him. His voice sounds like home to me. It brings me back to the good old days of gothic drama, and you will never hear the like of that laugh ever again. All in all, the King of the Macabre did not lead a particularly tormented life, but he did lead a life of art, love, and good food before passing away in his 80s, and really, we should all be so lucky. I will be doing more of these episodes. Hopefully they go over well, but more than anything, I'm just doing this because I love the horror genre. And I think that it's important to know the history and how we got to where we are today. I don't think I'll be uploading them quite as often as I do my movie reviews and gameplays, just because they are a little bit more intensive and I really don't know what my life is going to look like for the next little while, but nonetheless, keep an eye out for the next one. Since we covered a dude this time around, I figure it's only fair to cover a gal next time, and I've narrowed it down to 2 options. Fay Wray, best known for King Kong and being the first girl to take on the Scream Queen mantle, and Elsa Lancaster, best known as the Bride of Frankenstein. You can vote on your favorite here in the comments, or you can head on over to Instagram. I'll be doing a poll there too. Don't forget to subscribe to this channel and click that little bell thingy to get notified on some more spooky content. Thank you so much for watching, my pets, and I will see you next time. Love you.